You rely on them to get you the help you need after a storm. But our WPTV Investigates team has found a growing number of insurance adjusters may be unlicensed and lack training, which can affect how much money you get after a hurricane. It's an investigation that began after we went to Citizens Insurance months ago advocating for the Ross family. They lost their home in an EF3 tornado. Investigative reporter Kate Hussey exposes what appears to be a shortage of workers and a concerning amount of unpaid claims.
On a dirt-filled lot she once called home.
It was about to be finished.
Erin Ross imagines her life.
Yeah, and so if I was probably right about here, you know, I'd be in my kitchen.
If an EF3 tornado
Just don't have it now.
hadn't taken it away.
Yeah.
Erin battled with her insurance company, the state-run Citizens program, ever since the tornado hit her home October 9th. She eventually got the money she needed, but it took months, and still she's angry.
Do you wonder if your situation has happened to a lot of other people?
I'm sure it has.
There is a possibility that that may be happening to other policyholders.
I traveled to Tallahassee to meet with Tasha Carter in the state's Office of Insurance Regulation. After sharing Erin's story, I filed a public records request with Citizens and found of the more than 56,000 Hurricane Milton claims filed across the state, more than 20,000 of those were closed without payment.
We absolutely have been receiving inquiries and complaints from consumers who are still going through the Hurricane Milton claim process.
Of those 20,000, Citizens couldn't tell me why the claims were closed, but in Erin's case, she feels it was at least in part because of the adjuster.
I think the biggest issue that we faced was initially being assigned to a desk adjuster that just wasn't really sure what was supposed to happen or what she was supposed to do. And I don't know if that's a training or maybe this is her first encounter with it.
Erin brought that issue up to Citizens, who told her the adjuster was contracted from a temp agency. State law does allow any agent to work temporarily for a carrier as an adjuster without actually having a license.
You had desk adjusters who have never been to the property. They've looked at pictures of it, and they've read a report from somebody who is a field adjuster who may not have any experience in construction. And they said, yeah, no, I think this is too much. We're going to reduce this estimate.
Insurance attorney Aaron Bass is not affiliated with this case, but says Aaron's tale is one he's been told often, particularly after 3 hurricanes hit Florida just this past year.
Inside, we're seeing the walls shaking, the roof shaking.
Producing more than 500,000 claims across the state.
The insurance companies they don't have enough people to do the adjusting.
Data I requested through a public records request to Citizens shows more than 99% of Hurricane Milton claims were handled by adjusters the company contracted from an outside agency. And Bass specifically worries what that means for adjusters sitting at a desk.
So what you're telling me is somebody who never went out to that property, doesn't really know where it's located other than by doing a Google Map search, didn't walk in there and smell the mold, didn't see the water drips, just saw pictures while they were sitting at their desk, made a decision.
I reached out to Citizens. The company in a statement told me both desk and field adjusters they contract must have at least 18 months of experience handling property claims and must hold a valid Florida adjuster license, which Citizens says they verify through the Department of Financial Services database.
Is that something your office is willing to look into to make sure all practices are not erroneous?
Absolutely, absolutely. And I've already been in contact with the Office of Insurance Regulation, started to look at some of that data.
It's a step forward for Erin, who eventually was assigned a new adjuster employed by Citizens.
Get another house.
She got her money, but feels for the battle so many others might still be fighting.
The insurance company is taking a gamble every time they give one of us a policy, right? So if they're the ones that decided to take the gamble, they got to accept it when they have to pay out.
Carter also says no matter which insurance company you have, if you feel you have a claim that's underpaid or denied in error, to file a complaint with the Office of Insurance Regulation. In 2024, the Tallahassee agency forced various insurers to return about $70,000 in monetary restitution to Florida consumers, but they can't investigate a complaint unless you make one. Reporting from Fort Pierce, I'm Kate Hussey, WPTV News.